live here on Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, day 31. Yes, I have been live streaming for 31 days non-stop. And if you've missed any of the videos, you can go back. You can actually see the playlist, the APAM playlist, hashtag APAM playlist, that will have all the videos for this year. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming on. This is like the last day of Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, like, yeah, the 31st of July 2018. So yeah, it's been amazing. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, it's been really good. I really enjoyed it. So if anyone's watching and haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do. Don't forget to hit the big bell icon so you get notified of every time I post a new video. I'm actually wearing my hoodie today. This is one of my own designs. Everything's coming up Aces. So it's really, really good. And my asexual friend bought me this, even though it's my own design. I love the colour. It's really, really good. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about, can you tell me a time when you've had to deal with intrusive questions? So this is from my Asexual Perspectives Awareness, Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, A Celebration of Asexual Diversity book. If you haven't already got it, go and get a copy. It's on Amazon. It's really good. So this was one of the questions I asked. I asked all my 46 interviewees, can you tell me about a time when you've had to deal with intrusion? And the last night there was a dinner. Everyone was sharing coming out stories and the like. And they asked me, and I told them I was ace. I had to explain asexuality, which was fine. But then one of the guys started getting really intrusive. He was asking me all these questions about whether I had ever had sex. Oh, yeah. Did I start early? Oh, hi, Ronald. Sorry. I just went on. If you've got the bell icon hit, then you should get notified instantly whenever I post a new video, but you have to be logged into YouTube to do that. You were asked that. Yeah. Like, he was at, this is Kelly's story. He was asking me all the questions about whether I had ever had sex. How could I know I was ace without having sex? Did I masturbate, etc.? It was extremely awkward. I'm sorry you had that, Michael. It's quite common, isn't it? But everyone else at the table was backing me up and eventually just gave up. Now, I kind of like, it's really weird. Sometimes it depends what the person's asking me. I mean, I do a lot to help asexuals online, as you know. So if people ask me about stuff, I'm quite open about it, But I usually get I've done a lot of sales in my life, and I usually get all the objections in there to begin with before they've even had a chance to object anymore. So I used to I know it's kind of funny because I'm relating sales to this, but when I used to be a fitted bedroom specialist, we used to have to learn something called objection handling. And it's really important when you're asexual to know how to handle objections before they happen. It's called preempting objections. And that's something I learned as a sales technique, but it can be applied to many different aspects of your life. So if you think that something's going to crop up, you pretty much already know the answer in your head before it comes up. So, and preempting objections is kind of you give them the answer before they've asked the question. So they've no need to ask the question. So for example, my ex of 8.5 years, which I think I've probably spoke about before, my long-term ex of 8.5 years, he was actually good at sex. I rather wouldn't have had it. I'd rather, I wasn't bothered about having it. I didn't need it, want it, or get the urge for it. But he was good. Mostly because he was did a lot of the stuff beforehand, which I was more into than the sex itself, to be honest. But he was very good, very gentle, really caring with my needs like that, and because it can hurt me. And so that was and he was good at doing all the positions or whatever. I wasn't bothered. But I don't know if you've read my book or you've seen another video. Oh my gosh, I've got a really asexual mind, right? I don't know if you know, but when I was with my ex one Christmas, I bought him this book. It's like really bad. So he beforehand, we'd been going around a shop and he was looking for books, and he was looking at Kama Sutra books. If you don't know what the Kama Sutra is, most people know it. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Kama Sutra, I think it's called. And it's basically different sexual positions, right? And he was looking at a book with some people in it, like real people. And I don't like nudity, and I hate, if I'm with a guy, him looking at that. I can't stand it because I think he should only have eyes for me. But yeah, I don't like being naked. Incidentally, I'm 33 and never had sex. And my response to being asked, how do I know a ace about sex, is that I've never wanted sex. Yeah, I think it's great, Michael. I think it's wonderful if you're a virgin. I think more people should be virgins. I mean, I did a video, actually. My first ever video. It was on my other... Hi, Martin. Thanks for joining me. I did another video on my other channel, actually, about it's great to be a virgin and I would date a virgin. I put that in... It was like the first video on this channel, but it was actually from my Quirky Books TV channel, which is my other channel. I'm on this channel far more. But yeah, it started on that, and I got quite a lot of response from that. People were really happy that I put that, because I think it's really gonna have to BRB real quick. Gonna get tea. Oh, be right back. Right, okay, Martin, I'll see you in a bit. If I'm still on then, but I probably will, seeing as I talk a lot. So what was I gonna say? So anyway, with my ex, like, he was looking at these books in a bookshop, and I didn't like that at all. But I went into this shop, right, for Christmas, I think it was, and I bought him a mini pocketbook which had like cartoon figures in it of Kama Sutra positions, right? And I didn't even think he would want to use them on me, because my mind doesn't think like that. And I was just thinking, oh, he likes that type of thing. I'll get him a book to look at. He'll love that. And I'm like, oh, geez. And then he wanted to try out all these different positions. And I'm like, I just kind of let him get on with it. But I'm like, what's this position? What are you doing? Like, oh, my God. I just, like, used to, in terms of actually having sex, when I used to have it, I just preferred the front face normal position, you know, because it's like I wanted to see the guy's face, because I get aesthetically attracted to a guy's face. I'm not bothered about his body, you know, like below the waist I'm not bothered. I like a guy's face, but not below the waist, I say, you know. That's like my motto. So it's like, you know, and that's what I was interested in, looking at his face, not doing the other stuff, you know. But I couldn't believe I bought him that. I didn't even twig. I didn't even think about it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, how could I have not thought that he would want to try that with me? How could I not? But I just didn't think like that. My brain didn't think like that. And I just didn't want him looking at other naked women, because I just don't like that. But even in the asexual sphere, as it were, a lot of asexual guys, they still like looking at naked women. Some of them like looking at porn, and I personally don't like that. I mean, my friend Sam, who I met at the last asexual meet, we'd known each other online for quite a while, but never become friends. Yeah, he was at my last asexual meet, and we become best friends forever, like in 3 days. And I really trust him, because he is naked repulsed like me, right? And in a relationship, he has exactly the same boundaries. So like, with his friends, like, he will only hug them, but he will cuddle just for the relationship, you know. But I know some asexuals, and they go cuddling people who are their friends. Do you know what I mean? And I'm kind of like, there has to be boundaries between. I mean, maybe it's because, yeah, it's really weird, because with some aromantics, you get the aromantics that don't want to be touched at all. They, you know, if they were in a platonic relationship, their hug would probably be equivalent to my cuddle, my kiss, which is equivalent. My kissing is like equivalent to someone's sex, you know. That's the most I'll go, is the kissing, right? So with some aromantics, some don't like touching at all. They don't need any touching, you know, even if in a relationship. In my opinion, cuddling should only be between romantic partners. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, if someone's single, then, as I say, I tried to look at porn to see why people like it so much. But my feelings range from indifference to disgust. Yeah, I'm really naked repulsed, especially with women. The reason I didn't know I was asexual when I was a kid, but looking back on it, I can see that I definitely was, with things that have happened in my life. I mean, with women, I found out I was naked repulsed with women because I went to a place called Centre Parks, which is in the UK, which is a really, really nice place. Actually, I was with another ex back then, and my granddad had just died, and it's quite a few years ago, and he took me there, and it was a really nice place. The guy, he was not very nice, the ex. I haven't had great guys, but But, you know, the place was lovely, and they had I can't swim, but they had an outdoor jacuzzi, and it was amazing. And it was set in parks, you know, and you couldn't drive there. So he drove, but I can't drive, but he parked his car in like the reception car park, and then you had to cycle everywhere. Back then when I could cycle, you had to cycle everywhere at night and all through the park and everything. And yeah, it was really, really beautiful. And they did a lot of sports there. Now, I don't generally like sports at all, but if it's classes, like they had some classes, I think they had like keep fit classes, and they had some like sports as in activities of like fun stuff to do, you know? So I didn't mind doing that. And trying things. And yeah, it was like I was stood. I mean, like I said, I went in the jacuzzi. It was outdoor jacuzzi, but the rain would come down. Like the cold rain may come down on you, and you're nice. Hi, Martin. I'm talking about lots of stuff now. You have to catch up. So basically, yeah, so with the centre parks, like you could go outside in the jacuzzi, which I love, and the rain would fall on you, but you had your shoulders underneath the warm water outdoors. It was really beautiful, but sometimes obviously it wasn't always sunny. So that was a really good experience. And we had this lodge, which was really high up, and it had its own like spa bath, I think it was, and you could open these patio doors, and they had like ducks and everything in the morning. Like I'm not, like I used to live near the country, so I'm not a country girl, I'm a city girl. But I mean, like where I live in Exeter, no offense, but I find the female body weird, especially the breast. No, I'm glad you said that. So yeah, this is what I'm coming to, Michael. You've hit it spot on. So basically, when I was in the centre parks, I went in the jacuzzi, I came out, and it was in the changing room. And there's this woman that started talking to me stark naked in front of my face. And I just felt so sick to my stomach. I didn't know where to put my eyes. I was trying to just look at her face and the movement of her lips and her talking. But she was like full on, breasts exposed, stomach exposed, completely stark naked in front of me. Just, I think she might have been drying her hair with a towel like this to the side. But everything was exposed. And I'm like, I really felt physically sick, and I'm like, I just don't want to be here. I don't know what to do. She was talking to me, away to me, full on face, so I couldn't not speak to her, and I could hardly concentrate on what she was saying because she was stark naked in front of me, and I just like, ugh, let me throw up now. You know, it's horrible for me. I hated it. I've always been disgusted by female nudity, particularly. I hate it in films. I hate it. I try to go to everything film I watch at the cinema. I try to avoid nudity like the plague. And if I've ever got a film at home, I should not have nudity in there usually. Even if there's a little bit, I will fast forward it. You know what I mean? I don't like that. There's no need to put that in things. I hate it because my ex, when I used to go, you know, I used to be like, why don't you fast forward it? It's like, oh, it spoils the storyline. I'm like, well, actually, happy final APAM day, everyone, by the way. Oh, that's really sweet. Thanks, Martin. But yeah, so yeah, I've always hated nudity. Like, I don't like it in sculptures. I don't like it in paintings. And when we're talking about preempting objections and handling objections, you know, like I did in sales, and I'm talking about relating that to asexuality and about intrusive questions. Well, one of the things people say to me is, oh, well, it's natural to be naked, right? We were born naked, right? But when we were in the womb going, you know, we were in a sack. We were covered up. Yes, it is a see-through sack, but it's still covered up. Do you know what I mean? To me, that is more natural, keeping covered. I like to keep my clothes on when I'm kissing a guy. You know, I prefer clothes on a guy. I get clothes attraction. And if a guy wears certain clothes, he is so gorgeous and beautiful. And I just want to really, I know not everyone watching this, there's like 2 people on the aromantic spectrum watching this. So I know you're not into kissing, probably not. Well, Martin might be because he's demi-romantic. He doesn't, you know, hasn't done much of that yet. And I don't think he's feeling that way at the moment. But, you know, I like to kiss my clothes on. I find it a lot more sensual, if you know what I mean. And I think I look better clothed than naked. And I also think a guy looks better clothed. I don't mind his top being off and seeing his chest if he's got a nice chest, particularly if it's hairless. I actually like hairless chests, which not many guys are. But having said that, some of the guys that I've dated or been interested in, they've actually had hairless chests, which is quite weird. So I've managed to kind of hone down the people, even though a lot of it's like, it's really like spiritual connection. Like you can, and law of attraction, you can like want something and it can appear in your life. It's quite good, especially if the right thing happens. But as you know, yeah, I've been searching for my soulmate for a very long time. yeah, I actually spoke to that guy last night. I don't know if you were following me. I think you two, weren't you, Michael and Martin? I think you've been following me for the last few evenings. Well, I spoke to that. You remember that guy who was 19 who came on, who's watching this now, called Ronald on this channel? Yeah. We video chatted today, and it's quite amazing, actually. I was quite pleasantly surprised at how similar we are with kissing needs. So that was quite good. The only problem is he lives in another country, and he's not likely to be over here for 2.5 years to live anyway, or move. Yeah, so that's like, you know, I need someone in person to kiss. So I don't know if or when he will come over here, like if he's going to visit. I think he mentioned visiting, but I don't know if he meant like sooner or if he meant later on. I don't know what. So yeah, that's kind of really hard because we seem quite compatible, but you know, I don't want to get my hopes up because yeah, I thought that in the past, but yeah, he's quite similar to me on physical kissing needs though. But you know, I don't want to get my hopes up because it's a long time. Hopefully sooner than later. Yeah, it's, you know what I mean, I can't put my life on hold for 2.5 years. I can't obviously do that, you know. It's like I still love dancing, so I'm going to go out dancing because, you know, but I'd rather dance with the guy who's Ronald, to be quite honest with you. You know what I mean? If you've been doing these streams every day, then I've missed a lot. And yes, I remember that guy coming in. Yeah, he's on this stream now. Like, it was amazing, wasn't it? An amazing experience. It's like kind of, wow. Similar in more than just kissing, I feel. Yeah, we are really similar. Like, I wished you were over here, to be quite honest. It's really difficult, like, because you don't finish study for like 2.5 years. And that's like kind of like a long time. I don't think anyone could put their life on hold for that, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I really would love him to be over here. And also, I don't know if he was planning to live over here permanently, like if he came to uni, for example, because we talked about him going to uni, like after he's finished his 2.5 years of rest of the study. But I don't know if he means living permanently, because I don't want to get into a relationship with a guy where he's just going to come over here and then go off again. I'm not really into casual relationships like that, do you know what I mean? It's not really who I am, and I don't want to be heartbroken like that. It's not good for me or them. So yeah, that's quite a lot to think about, do you know what I mean? Because he's at a different sort of life stage. I mean, he's not in the sense of we get on really well, I think. But his life is, you know, 2.5 years in his country. You know, it's like I need to go out, so I still need to go out dancing. You know, I might be dancing with other guys, but I still need to go out because I can't be indoors for 2.5 years. And, you know, I love dancing. It's who I am. It's part of my soul, and I haven't been doing enough of it lately. Do you know what I mean? But I kind of wished it was him, obviously, instead, because I'd rather have actually a asexual partner for life than go out dancing and dance with him than go out dancing and with guys who really are not suitable for anything but what they want to do is have sex, but I won't have sex with them, obviously. You know what I mean? Only suitable to dance with, and but you know, I do sexy dancing, so that's kind of a bit weird. But you know, I need to be myself. I need to live. You know, a lot can happen in 2.5 years. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and if he really wants to be with me, then he'll come over. I ultimately believe that if the guy, whoever the right guy is for me, he will come and he will move over here permanently and he will be with me, and I know that 100%. So if he's not gonna do that, then I know he's not the right guy for me, because he can't be, you know, because I need someone over here, because I love the UK, I love my flat, I've been living here for mountains of years. I mean, if the guy lived in London, which I think the guy who's watching this now, he might move to London for study for his masters, not necessarily my city. That's okay, because it's like in the same country and you can commute. Obviously, one of you's got to move to the other, really, to live near the other eventually, because it would just like not really work long term else. But that's the thing, you know, if you are thinking about having a long distance relationship, you have to ask yourself, like, who's going to move and when. If neither party, neither person want to move, it ain't ever going to work. And the person who says they're going to move's got to actually mean it and take some action. Otherwise, it's just pie in the sky. Because I know I was friends, well, I'm still friends with a Bangladesh guy, and I mentioned this in a previous video, that he had an online relationship for 4 or 5 years. And, you know, they used to argue a lot in the end because, you know, he was always saying he'll come over. She was always wanting him to come over. She had other offers. She had offers of marriage, I think, and all sorts. But she kind of put her life on hold for him. And he used to spend nights. He used to, like, I mean, I thought he was so, like, into her, because he used to spend hours, like, he used to, like, not go to sleep and spend hours up after his work just talking to her all the time. But in the end, he let his mother pick a wife for him, and they're divorced. It was really short-lived, the marriage, and, you know, he's divorced now. And it, you know, turned his life upside down very quickly, you know. And so he's got a new girlfriend now, but it's like, but it's not the person he was, like, online with for 4 or 5 years. Do you see what I mean? There's no point. You shouldn't waste your life like that. You've got to. But he kept saying to her, he's my friend, online friend, but he kept saying to her he would go and be with her, but he wasn't really taking the action. I mean, he said to me that he was sending papers off and stuff, but I knew in my heart of hearts, because he was my friend, that he wouldn't ever go and be with her, even though he made out he liked her so much, because I knew he wouldn't do it. I just knew he was settled where he was, his job and his friends, and I don't think he really wanted to be in her country. And, you know, that's quite sad. I just think that's 4 or 5 years of people's lives wasted. Do you see what I mean? So it's really important that if you're thinking about long distance relationship, or if you think about a relationship with a person, any person that doesn't live near you, you got to think about the real long term. It's okay, the beginning attraction and the things in common, but it's like, you know, you've got to have stuff that glues you together, and you've got to have someone taking action. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got, you know, there could be, like, you know, understood, yeah. Anyway, so intrusive questions, right? So this is Elle Hardwick's story. Can you tell me about a time when you've had to deal with intrusive questions or difficult situation due to your asexuality, and what happened? Coming out to my parents, they told me asexuality didn't exist and made me feel like my feelings were invalid. I think that's really, really horrible. Do you know what I mean? I mean, imagine coming out to your parents and they're like that. I was really lucky and fortunate with my parents, because I just phoned them up. I mean, I didn't even know it was called coming out, to be honest. To me, it was just something I say in conversation. Like, I'm asexual. Like, well, I was like, oh, I've learned about this thing called asexuality. I've researched about it, and I think I'm asexual. And it was the second conversation I had with them about it on the phone, just randomly in the city while I was walking home, I think. And when I said what it was about, basically that other people, I went on asexuality.org and saw that other people were like me. This is part of most of the reason why I don't want to come out to mine. I know, Martin, but you've got to be true to who you are. Do you know what I mean? I know that's why you don't want to come out to your parents, but you've got good friends. You've got me. You know, I can even speak to your parents for you if you want. So, you know what I mean? They can't say it's invalid if you've got someone like me saying it is valid. Do you know what I mean? Because they just can't. I'm here. Hello, I'm an asexual person. Do you know what I mean? You know, if you get friends or other people that you know that's asexual, you can get them to come along with you to help you come out to your parents if you want. Do you know what I mean? They can come with you to have moral support, or they can just be on the end of a message for moral support for you. Because it's really, I mean, that's one of the questions that, like, people are like, how do you come out? And I think it's really good for the UK Asexuality Conference. You were at that, Martin. I don't know if you picked up on the fact that she said you have to explain how you feel rather than say about asexuality. So that was Aricia, I think. Was it Aricia? I think, oh no, was that, oh, I think it might have been another girl, actually. Yeah, it was the other girl that wasn't, not Aricia, another girl that kept having people not understand her. And she was like, you have to say how you feel. But when I didn't know the term asexual, oh yeah, I noticed that. That might have been in the video, actually, yeah. When I, what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying that coming out as asexual, like, before I knew I was asexual, I used to just say to people that I didn't like sex, you know, like, even to guys, I was saying, you know, I don't like sex, I don't want it. And they were like, well, why don't you want sex? I'm like, because I just don't like it. And I didn't even used to use the word asexual. I just used to use the fact that I didn't like sex. And I think that's perfectly fine, you know. You don't have to say the word asexual. I mean, you can later on if you want to, but you can just say, I don't like sex. You know, not everyone does. And they can't really say anything to that, you know, because it's not using a abstract word or concept that they don't understand. They have to understand that, you know, it's just like, I think someone mentioned in my book, it's like pizza, you know. Some people like pizza, some people love pizza, some people want pizza all the time. other people don't, and they're repulsed by it. Do you see what I mean? I'm actually repulsed by it. I don't like pizza. Ugh, it's gross to me. It always has been, but even before my food allergies. But you know what I'm saying? It's really important to understand that you can just say, I'm not into sex, I don't like sex, and your parents, they can't really say that doesn't exist or it's not a thing, because you're not actually giving it a term like asexuality. So that might be something that you can use when you speak to them, and just say, look, I'm not into sex. Do you see what I mean? If they make a comment, like a sexual comment, like they see someone on TV and they say something like about sex, and just say, oh, that's not really my thing, and walk off, that type of thing. And they'll be like, that's a bit weird. Yeah, exactly, Martin. That's what I think you should do. Like, if you can be brave enough to do that. Because if you don't use the word asexual or asexuality, they can't say asexuals are invalid. And they can't say asexuals don't exist or we're invalid. But they can, they will, if you say that I'm not into sex, I'm not interested in that, then they don't have a term for it. They can't say you don't exist. It's your opinion and your feeling. Do you see what I mean? And I think that's a much better way probably of coming out. And then later on, if you want to apply the term asexual, asexuality to it later on, after they've come to terms with the fact that you're not into that, and then you give it a label, if you want to, in front of them, then by then they've already accepted the fact you don't like sex anyway or not interested in it, so they won't mind really the label, because it'll be like, well, you know what I mean? It'll be like they can't really say anything because they've already accepted that you don't like that. I mean, not everyone's going to like sex. To me, it's common sense, and not everyone's going to like sex. I don't know why people in this whole planet and universe would ever think anyone would like everything. I mean, surely it defies the whole system of logic throughout the world that people would all like and love and want the same thing. I mean, it's just preposterous. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely preposterous. Why would anyone in their sane brain think that everyone likes and loves and wants the same thing? I mean, it's just ludicrous, I mean, there's people that like different foods, people that like different technological items, people that like different clothes, people that like different cars, people that like different hairstyles, people that like different body shapes. Do you know what I'm saying? To actually believe that because they believe it's fundamental to all life. Yeah, it's just stupid though. But you could say clothes are fundamental to all life, but there's still people who like to be nude. There's nudists. Actually, since I came out as asexual and helping people, there was someone even who I didn't expect to turn around to me in private. They're not asexual. Turn around in private to me and tell me that he actually like walking around naked and going to like things like nudist camps. They compare it to breathing rather than clothes though. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. I think it's because it's part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Michael, I don't know if you've read that. I do a lot of personal and professional development. So it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it's like water, food, shelter, and I think sex is there. I mean, I can understand. I mean, I don't personally want to procreate. I've never wanted children in my life, especially known that since 15 years old. But I can understand people who want to use sex to procreate, because that's like a practical thing to do that most people have done for years. So I can kind of understand that. But obviously with asexuals, you can adopt or have artificial insemination, or really like be me and don't bother. But you know what I mean? Or don't want it. But what I'm saying, it's just like ludicrous that they think that everyone's the same. I mean, even people can go underwater without oxygen and air for a short amount of time. Isn't there two versions of Maslow's triangle thing? One for individuals and one for the human race, because all individuals, as all individuals, not all of us need sex. No, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a pyramid, but it's just what he wrote up. I haven't got a copy at the moment on screen, but it's water, shelter, warmth, and I think sex is mixed either at the base or the next foundation to that. I can't remember. I think it's from what I've read and remember, it's down with the baseline. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, I know I'm definitely asexual. I know I don't experience sexual attraction whatsoever, especially because I've been around more sexuals. Like that guy I was dancing with last week. It's like, I don't experience sexual attraction to him whatsoever. In any way, shape or form at all. At all. Just nothing. There's nothing there. It's like diddly squat. Do you know what I mean? So what was I talking about? My parents, yeah. So the second time I had a phone conversation and told them about asexuality, my mum said, oh, it sounds like you. And, you know, and my parents actually understand me more, and they are better with me since they know that I am asexual, because my mum used to take the mickey out of me for not wanting sex, which I don't understand, because my parents are so conservative and they don't believe in sex before marriage. But yeah, I was with a Bangladesh guy for about a week. Yeah, if you can call it a relationship, it's like a week. And he just went off with someone else even in that week, you know, behind my back, because I wouldn't have sex with him. I managed to get in the shower naked with him to please him. I don't know how I did that. I had to like just completely wipe all consciousness thought usually of what I was doing and just think, I'm doing this for him. That's the most I can give him. I can't do any more. And I didn't really let him touch me. I was just touching him and shower him down with whatever I was doing. I don't even really want to think about it. But, you know, that was like all he could do. You know, I don't think I had him touching me from what I remember. But it's like, that was the best I could do at the time. But now I don't want to do any of that. You know, I'm naked, repulsed. And I'd rather, you know, I don't want to do stuff like that. But I did that in the hope, I guess, that he wouldn't go off and have sex and want sex with someone else. But it really didn't work. He wasn't a particularly nice guy either. Like, he went to London. And he was like, oh, I'm going to get you this ring. It's going to be wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And then he came back with a bangle that he bought me from, like, Claire's. Like, I know money isn't the issue, but it's not the point. It's the concept of trust in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? If someone says they're going to do something, I expect them to do it. So, yeah, it's so important. It's like with Ronald, who I did Skype today. Like, he was late on the call. And I usually, like, I have, like, this, like, with new guys especially, like, any new guy that's going to Skype me, like, Skype date or whatever, they have, like, a 10-minute, I allow up to 10 minutes for them to be late on the Skype call, which they shouldn't even be doing that, because if they like me that much and that keen, then obviously they should be there before, not, you know, even before time. And I shouldn't be having to wait around. That's not good to keep a girl waiting. Do you know what I mean? Or anyone waiting. And so it's just really bad, because it's obviously, you need to find out if the person's trustworthy and reliable and keeps to what they say, especially if they ask you to talk with them at a certain time. Because, like, I'm really busy, my schedule, and I haven't got time to be messed around, or, you know, I expect people to be there on time. And basically, I usually, if, for example, like, the guy was eating food, so I had my food earlier, but sometimes I'm late eating my food. And so then I'll message a person and say, I'm really sorry, I haven't quite finished my food yet. Is it all right if we, like do it in 10 minutes? Really sorry. It doesn't happen that often, but occasionally it does. Normally, if I haven't pre-planned it. If I've pre-planned it, then it's normally much better, which is why I like to pre-plan. But do you know what I mean? I expect someone to be on time. But, you know, I have this thing where I let people have, like, so if any of you want to get into Skype dating, or you know, then basically I have this 10-minute like leeway that I'll allow them to be, in my mind, I'll allow them to be late up to 10 minutes. Like, I'm not happy about that. It's not a good start, but I think, okay, things can happen 10 minutes, but if they don't show in those 10 minutes, that's it. And often I don't even speak to them again. I'm not interested in them. It's like, if you can't be bothered to turn up for me and you make out that you're really interested in me, you can't be bothered to show up on time. You know what I mean? It's like they, you know, if I'm doing Skype dating or arranging even to Skype a friend, you know, they are scheduled in my timeline, you know, they're scheduled in my calendar. I block that time off for them. It's like when with my best female friend, I block time off for her. You know, I don't then go around saying, oh, well, sorry, I'm going to do that with someone else. That's their time with me, you know. I'm very strict on that and very rigid. So that, you know, I think it's unlikely I'll get into Skype dating since I've never dated. Oh, bless you, Michael. Yeah, I've got a video on Skype dating. Skype dating is a good way of getting to know someone, and you can see their body language and expressions far better than in message. You can see what they're actually like as a person, and you can kind of see in their soul and their heart and their mind a lot more. And you can tell if they're genuine a lot more in their body language, in their eye movements, in the way they position themselves. You can tell a lot more through video chat than you can, you know. But I expect people to be there on time. Do you know what I mean? I just do. And it's all about a trust thing as well. You know, you have to it's about being trustworthy and reliable. How would you say your Skype date went? Well, the guy was late, so I was mad about that. And had he been like over 6 minutes more, then it wouldn't have happened. And I possibly would not have spoken to him again. Because I have this rule that I've had so many guys messing me around in my life, I don't take it anymore. It's like, no, the guy can't be bothered to turn up. He showed that he's really interested. Obviously, he's not, because if he was, he'd be literally hanging on the end of Skype thinking, I've got to be there for him like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. I mean, I was ready on Skype like at least quarter of an hour early. I had Skype open so that it was ready. So that was really bad. I wasn't happy about that, but I'll let this person off just this once, and you know, not let him off as in not tell him I'm not happy, because I wasn't, but because I think it's all about trust and reliability. If you can't trust someone and be yeah, he did. So yeah, the Skype date went really well in the end. We didn't call it a Skype date, but it was basically, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it went really well. So yeah, actually it went more than well. But then I've got all the thoughts afterwards like, okay, when is this person actually going to be able to come and see me? When is he going to come and be with me? Like, I've got tons of other questions I need to ask for compatibility. It went better than I thought. I mean, we're really compatible romantic-wise and relationship-wise possibly, but he's not in this country, so that's really gutting. But I kind of know probably that whoever I'm meant to be with possibly isn't in this country currently anyway, because I like younger foreign guys, and the majority in the UK are homo romantics, which is really no good to me because I'm very much a woman, or girl. I like to call myself girl. And, you know, I'm very much female, and I've not met the right asexual guy over here. I've only ever met one foreign younger guy at an asexual meetup, one of my meetups, but he wanted kids and I don't want kids. So that was dead in the water before it started. You know what I mean? But we're friends on Facebook, but I don't really speak to him. Like, he's got his life, I've got mine. He's also grey asexual like him, a real grey asexual. You know, he does experience sexual attraction in certain circumstances, and he wants children by natural means and all that lot. So he's far more sexual than I am. Yeah, we're not compatible in that way. But yeah, so yeah, the Skype date went really well actually, better than I thought it would, and yeah, I really connected with the guy, and I felt like we had lots in common, and I really felt well connected to him. But it's a bit scary saying that, you know, because I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I like a younger foreign guy. I've thought to myself, maybe he just isn't quite, well, in the past, that he isn't ready, as in old enough yet for me. I know that sounds really bad, anyone watching this, and you don't know like how much younger I like. Yeah, I know it's going to sound really bad sometimes, but it's kind of like, you know, I kind of know like that the guy's much younger than me, and I've always known that for a very long time. And my parents, going back to my parents, are amazing because they're really on board with me having a young guy in his 20s. My mum thinks around 24 would be better for me because obviously they're more mature. They usually know what they want. They usually have the finances to be here, and also she wants me to get a guy in the UK ideally because she knows that I've been messed around so much by foreign guys in other countries saying they'll come over, and quite heartbroken, and it's been a nightmare for me, and you know, it's been horrible. And she knows that I've had all that, and she wants me to find a romantic foreign guy for a relationship in the UK, but I haven't found one so far. So yeah, because I get that, because it's kind of like, now I've been like on asexual dating sites for 4 years, and it's kind of like, now I want some in-person kissing and cuddling, you know. It's like quite a long time, 4 years. Yeah, so it's kind of like, that's why it's quite nice to have danced with that guy last week, even though obviously I didn't experience sexual attraction, but he was foreign, but his sex drive's really high, and obviously I can't be with a sexual guy. I don't think it would ever work out because I can't do the sex stuff. It's just like, you know, I'd be doing it like just to please him, and then I would just get too much for me and overwhelmed by it, and like, it's not really what I want to do, and I get into a stupid situation where I was doing it just to please him, to keep him, and that's not a reason. You know, I'm worth more than that. I think any asexual's worth more than that, and I think it's better to hold out for the right person. I think that the guy I Skyped, who's watching this now, is a really genuinely lovely, lovely, lovely guy, and I think he was over here, it would be amazing. And I think, yeah, it would be just really, really good for both of us to, you know, like, I don't want to say like preempt anything or say anything that might not make it happen. But yeah, so I think if the guy was over here, I think it'd be absolutely amazing, because we have a connection and we like a lot of the similar stuff. We already get on well, but obviously he's got to prove himself. Like, I've learnt this over the years. A guy's got to prove himself, or if you're, well, thank you. I think you're just as amazing, and we'll figure things out on private chat though. Haha. Yeah. So yeah, I think what I've learned over the years as well is the guy has to prove his worth to me, like not just have me, because that's not right. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of guys that I get all the time saying I'm gonna do it. It's like there's a Indian. I told you I don't think Ronald was on the video. I don't think Ronald was watching that video, but there was I don't know if you've seen it, there was an Indian guy who's not asexual on Facebook, and when I said that I danced with an Indian guy and had a really nice time, but he wasn't asexual, I've still got to find my Indian asexual soulmate, and I know he's out there and I'll find him. Like, he came on and then started, I said, oh, we've got the similar birthdays as well, like mine's the 24th of April and his was the 27th, so I commented on one of his posts that, oh, my birthday's like few days before yours, and then he was messaging me quite a bit and then saying, oh, I really want to be with you, how can I be with you, how can I come over there, and all the rest of it. But he's not asexual, you know, and I said, go and get a nice sexual girl for you. He's going, oh, but I like you. And, you know, and it's ridiculous because he would just message me for a long time, right, that particular night especially, and the next 1 or 2 days, and then it's like, now it's like one word things, like, hi, well, 2 words, hi Sandra. It's like, yeah, really, am I really going to be interested in a guy that just says hi Sandra? I mean, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, but if you're interested in someone, you don't just say hi to someone, do you? That's like someone you pass a stranger in the street. So it's like he's been getting less and less words. And I also learned, you know, not to put more effort in than a guy puts into you. You know, if he can't be bothered, it's like, fine, go away then. You know what I mean? There's plenty of other guys out there. But I mean, he's sexual anyway. He's not asexual, but he's like one of those type of guys that, oh, I can be without you without sex. Yeah, kissing, cuddling, holding hands. Look at this and all this romantic stuff. And then, but he was the one who mentioned, mark points if you get the reference. Yeah, so you know, he was then, you know, he started to talk about a visa. I hate it. You know, most guys are just after me for a visa because they can't get into this country without one. And that's particularly what Indian guys are after, and it's just disgusting. I already stop them in their tracks most of the time. I'm like, okay, so here's the, you know, I don't not help them at all. I'm like, okay, here's about the 4 options you can do to get in this country and live here permanently. Go for gold and go and find your own way here. Don't bother me. You know, if I was looking to go to another country, I wouldn't expect someone else to arrange it for me and do that work for me. If I really wanted to go to another country, I'll go and research the country myself. I'd be looking at places like accommodation, travel, transport, where I wanted to stay, what job I wanted to have. I'd be researching it. You know what I mean? I put the effort and the time in, not, oh, you know, they seem to expect British girls just to do that for them. It's ridiculous, you know? And obviously they'll use the marriage card. It's like, I always say to a guy up front, there's no way I'm going to get married. I mean, my parents have been married for 50 years next year, but I'm not into marriage. Actually, I used to be engaged years ago. Yeah, and Google flight times, yeah. Yeah, I was quite impressed actually, because Ronald, who's on the Skype, who I had the Skype date with today, he'd actually already Googled flight times and train times to see how long it would take to get from his country to London and from London down to see me. I was impressed with that. And train times, yeah. I just said that. Yeah, I think I said that. And yeah, so I was actually impressed with that. I thought, oh, actually he is really interested in me, because he did bother to do that, and he's done that quite quickly, and I think that's really good. Because there's no point in the guy talking about it being all hot air. Either he wants to take action and do it, or he doesn't. I'm into personal professional development, I've said a million times. And one of the things I learned soon on in life, you take action to get your dreams, your goals, ambitions, your dreams, whatever you want. You have to write the goals down and take action constantly. I mean, I've got I've got Asexualise Academy now. I may have also gone around looking for accommodation in the area. Oh, that's really sweet. So, like, for example, I've got Asexualise Academy now, which is the world's first ever online training centre and school for asexuals and asexuality. Like, I didn't even think of that concept till quite recently when I launched my Quirky Academy. Like, my Quirky Academy has been a dream, which is an online training centre for entrepreneurs, startups and creators, but I've only got 1 course on there at the minute. And like, one of my best entrepreneur friends, she was like, oh, asexuality is your niche, Sandra, you know it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, why aren't I doing more in that? So I decided to launch the academy with the free Asexuality Basics for Beginners Introduction to Asexuality course, which you can go to Asexualise academy.com and, you know, go and take that course. It explains all the asexual spectrum if you're not knowledgeable about what the asexual spectrum actually is and all the romantic orientations within it. So it's a really good course. But you know, I designed t-shirts for asexuals. I never thought I'd be doing that years ago. It's like how I did that is I used to sketch them and get a designer to do them for me, but he was really bad at getting the right dimensions to upload them. And in the end he said, oh, why don't you try it yourself? And do you know something? I watched a 5-minute video and I made my first t-shirt after watching a 5-minute YouTube tutorial. And then I watched a 10-minute one and I made another t-shirt. And my second one I think sold really well. And so like now I just design my own t-shirts all the time. I love it. I never thought I'd be a t-shirt designer in my life, but I'm really into design. I'm really creative, so it's really, really good. So, you know, if you want anything in life, you've got to, you know, take the bull by the horn and go and get it. No one's going to get it for you. This is what people don't understand. They spend their whole life going, oh, yeah, the perfect person is just going to fall on my lap. It's like, no, you have to go and get it. That means being proactive on dating sites. It's like my friend, my asexual friend in one of my asexual friends in the UK, he just got engaged to his girlfriend, his asexual girlfriend. They haven't even been together a year yet. And he is so happy and I'm so thrilled for him. I am absolutely ecstatic. He is one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And he is just incredible. And he deserves something. And he deserves someone that really is like him. So yeah, John is his name. So if John's ever watching this, which I don't think he is because he's so into his girlfriend, but if John's ever watching this, congratulations, my friend, on your engagement to Catherine. Yeah, really, really beautiful. Saw the ring, her wearing the ring. You know, they got pictures together on their Facebook page, all cuddled up. But they were in Spain, I think, when he proposed, because he's got a place out there, but he lives in London predominantly. But yeah, and there was this woman in my asexualized dating group, and she's like, oh, well, it's not the same for us all, you know. I want marriage desperately, but it's not like that for us all because there's no one in my city. Well, no, this really annoys me. You're likely to not ever find a suitable asexual in your city. It requires you either moving or finding someone who will move, or you travel and commute. But again, eventually, after the travel and commuting, you know, you're not going to want to do that forever and a day. Are you going to want to be with each other? I do know a sexual person, well, I think they were sexual. They were commuting backwards and forwards to London with their boyfriend for 5 years. But eventually he was going to move down here to be with her. But I think she went up and ended up moving up with him. I'm not sure. Or did he move down and then they got placed together? But yeah, they were together like 5 years commuting. They only saw each other, I think, was once a month, I think. And they did that for 5 years and they weren't even asexual, you know. So anything's possible. And when people say, oh, I can't do this, it's not going to happen. Well, no, it's not going to happen if you've got that attitude. My friend, to find the woman of his dreams, he spent nearly 3 solid months going to asexual meetups all around the UK. Every single week he would get in his car and he would drive to another meetup. Even once a month sounds good, to be honest. He would literally go and literally go to a meetup every single week, and he would go and meet, you know, he would go to a meet every, so I can't even speak now, I think. He said he would go to a meetup every single week, and he said that my meetup inspired him to go to all the others, because he was the one, I don't know if you've seen a previous video, where there was someone who, I need to drink of water, sorry. Where there was someone who said, who tagged me in a post saying, it was a post at Christmas saying, tag someone who changed my life. And he tagged me at the end of last year, before Christmas 2017. And I'm like, why are you tagging me this? How have I changed your life? And he said, because your meet inspired me to go to all the others. And that's how I met the love of my life. And I'm like, oh, right, that's really nice. So he met her at a Bath meet and he lived in London. So it's not like they lived next to each other or near each other. And that's the thing, you see, you have to be prepared to travel, put yourself out there and be proactive, not reactive. And so many people, they're like going, oh, I can't find anyone. Doesn't happen to me. I'm like, no, you either have to be a mover or move. You have to do, like, when I'm in my asexual dating groups, right, I ask, when we've got a lot of newbies, I'm like, one of the questions I ask is, who is a mover and who isn't a mover? So people know, because all the people that aren't movers, they need to find ones that they need to find people that are movers. Do you see? And some people are willing to like completely move and up sticks around the globe for their partners. I mean, I've known, like, I was talking to Ronald actually earlier about the fact that they're not asexual, but the fact I've known 3 people that up sticks and left to be with, well, they actually left and got married in another country, but one of them was when I was at college, and the other 2 are bloggers this year. And one of them, he's like, I think he's 72 now, and his wife is like 39 years old. And I was really skeptical at first, I have to admit, because he's been heartbroken before, because there was a woman that scammed him online before. That's why. It's not because of the age thing. It was, you know, I was skeptical because of the age thing, because he'd been scammed before by another woman, but not because of the age thing, as in there's a problem with the age gap. Just because, you know, I was thinking, well, he'd been scammed before, and why would someone her age want to be with someone that age? That's what I nearly thought, because he'd been scammed before. But they're so happy. They live with their 2 cats, and she's beautiful for him, and they seem to get on really well. And he was telling me that he gets on really well with her dad, which he's older than her dad. So, but I've known Ralph for years. He's really nice. He's highly sexual actually, but he's really nice guy. You know, we've been friends online. I've been blogging now for 8 years this year on my quirkybooks.wordpress.com blog, and we've been friends all that time, and he's one of the few people that always reads my post. Now, the other guy that got married, Steve, he got married abroad, and his wife, after their marriage, because I didn't realise he got married, and I saw a post flick up, and I said, I'm so pleased for you. And his wife goes, I've heard so much about you, Sandra. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know that I featured in Steve's life that much to actually warrant him saying, I've heard so much about you. Like, I'm guessing she's saying about all the things I've done, because I've had that blog for 8 years, and I'll always have that blog. And people can see my journey from where I was literally, I mean, the first time I blogged, I was like, when I was blogging, I was like, I spent 8 months without even a follower, you know, and I've grown my followers over time steadily. And I just used to write for me because I love writing. I wanted to find my writer's voice, and I wanted to help other writers. So I used to do articles to help other writers. I still do some like that. But, you know, people can see my journey. They can see that, you know, the fact that I went from nothing to, I've met the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen, in, you know, St. James's Palace. I spoke to the Queen. I got pictures of me to prove it from the royal photographer. I've saved someone's life as well, which not many people know, and I'm friends with the person whose life I saved. What else have I done? I mean, I don't make a ton of money at the moment, but I think success isn't about that. Success is about the impact and the legacy that you leave on this world. And that is why, another reason why I don't want kids. I don't want the lifestyle of kids. I'm not into that. I just live for me and the legacy that I need to leave throughout the whole globe. And one of the legacies, the major legacies, I need to get asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation throughout the globe, so that no asexual lives in fear of ridicule ever again. It's part of my life mission. I believe I was always born to educate people about asexuality. It's like I instinctively understand it from inside out. I can't explain it. I kind of like have quite a lot of different variations of asexual bits within me, and I think exactly success is not monetary. You know, I kind of had different asexual bits inside me, and I kind of understand a lot of different asexuals because of that, which makes like getting a compatible match really difficult sometimes, although Ronald seems to be quite compatible with me romantically. Yeah. I don't want to get my hopes up, but yeah. So it's, you know, I kind of feel like I was born to this, and because I've had the sexual half of my life spent in heterosexual relationships as well, I have all that experience that I can help other asexuals with, because you know, I do get asexuals come to me and say, you know, I might like to try sex. What do I do? And I get others saying they're having sex and, you know, they need help, or they're asking my advice about it. And, you know, it's best not to be ignorant that not every asexual doesn't want sex or won't try it. I know a lot do it to please people, you know, their partner. I just think it's so sad we have to do that. I think I'm off to sleep beautiful. I keep going in and out of sleep. It's all right. I know you're the older one. Fine. Have a good sleep. Take care. Bye. I think I have to go. Sorry, I can't stay all till the end of the stream. That's okay. I've been chatting for nearly an hour. That's fine. So yeah, I had two more answers to give out, so I'll just do those quickly because then I've got to finish up anyway. So this was Jamie James's story. Can you tell me about a time when you've had to deal with intrusive questions or a difficult situation due to your asexuality and what happened? Yes, my only friend said I was lying and asexuality was bullshit and I didn't exist. I explained what it was, then he thought otherwise, though the way it was said made me feel awkward being called a liar. I'm the older one, yeah, but if you check your Skype messages, you'll see a rather useful text. Okay. Bye, older one. Older one. Yeah, you are older one. I told you. I'm young. I'm up late. What do you expect? The early hours of the morning is when youngsters are up. It's like me. I got too much energy. No, I got lovely energy. Right, okay, so we're going to go to Sappho's story. And another thing my parents were really good about is age difference, because they know, I think I told you this, I'm meant to be with a younger guy. They're quite happy for me to be a younger guy. And here we thought you like younger guys. Yeah, I've already said that a million times, haven't I? Sorry. Right, okay, so last bit of my book then. Sappho's story. Can you tell me about a time you've had to deal with intrusive questions or difficult situation due to your asexuality and what happened? Being as I'm not really openly out, I haven't had too many experiences like this, but I know a lot of people who have been accused of being abused as children. Yeah, this is horrible. It's an awful thing to suggest to someone who's asexual, and it really demonstrates how pervasive sex is in society. If the only way that someone would believe that you don't experience sexual attraction is if you have had a horrible and traumatic experience in your life. And yeah, I really have to say that it's disgusting. I've had sexual abuse, but I had all my sexual relationships after the sexual abuse, so I 100% know that I'm not asexual because of that, because he didn't put me off having sex, even though I'd rather have not done it. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up now. I will see you soon. Tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, tune in tomorrow for some more fun. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please, 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 please share it with all your friends. And I will see you on tomorrow's live stream. Thank you, Martin. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Have fun.